good mom? What makes a good mom? I mean, traits specifically.
You know, at the end of the day, I believe that, I mean, we all have opinions as individuals and therefore as parents. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how certain things make you feel. It's important we know that as parents, it's not about me. It's about them. It doesn't matter how your actions have made me feel, because when you put them in that position, in my opinion, you're being very selfish. You know, what are people going to think of me? Who cares? How is this affecting you? Why did you say what you said? And this is how I believe you are going to be affected by this. Who cares about how it's going to affect me? And when you put it on them, believe me, the reaction is completely different than what will people think. You know, this is about you. This is about you right now. This is about you in the future. So that's one of the things that I stand very firmly and I believe very strongly is, you know, unfortunately a lot of us as parents make it about us.
Right.
And it's not about us.
What in a situation, let's say they said something that was hurtful to you, would you express that to them though? They tell them that it hurt your feelings and stuff?
I already have.
Yeah.
I've been in that situation before.
Oh, of course.
And I didn't go storming into, you know, his or her room.
Yes.
You know, like
I'm sure at some point every child is going to say something to their parents that's going to hurt their feelings. When they're like 5, they'll say.
And that's healthy.
Yes.
And that's healthy. You know what?
Yeah.
Express your feelings.
Yes.
As long as you don't go out to every other person that you run into and say, you know, but and again, that goes back to the communication.
Yeah,
and you know, if Mama said something, I mean, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and if you claim you are, then there's something seriously wrong with you.
Yeah.
That's your imperfection right there.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
one there.
I may say things and do things that aren't right. I'm
Sure.
not always, you know, mindful. I'm not. And if I said I was, I'd be lying. But if I'd said something that, you know, that has hurt your feelings, you need to talk to me about it instead of telling your father how it made you feel. Because how can I rectify this unless you brought it to my attention?
So like really being accountable and
being
accountable. Expecting them to be the same.
And you know, I didn't even get into how it made me feel. It's clear in my face and in my voice that I'm hurt by it.
Okay.
But why would I put that on her or on him?
Yeah.
It's not about, you know, we use the guilt technique a lot as parents.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how this is going to affect me? Who cares?
Right.
It's not about you. I hate to say that. It's not about me, and I'm okay with that.
Interesting.
It's about him and it's about her.
That's a really big piece. That's a huge thing. I haven't heard that before. So that's a really interesting.
I never verbalize it, but
that might be one of the nuggets of wisdom right there, because like respect is like, you know, it kind of makes sense on an intellectual scale, but to be able to separate the emotions where it's like, this hurts my feelings, but that's obvious. It's more about what this is going to do to you.
Yeah.
You know, if you treat people like that on a regular basis, what kind of life will that create?
Then it's going to become you, and I don't want that for them.
Yeah. Would you, when you were explaining these, like how it would affect them, is that what you would do? You would kind of project into the future, like
absolutely.
If you keep doing this.
It's always. I mean, I focus on the now, but you know, I want them to have a vision. I want my daughter to see herself in that light.
Yeah.
So you know, I will say to her, you know, what you said on Facebook was inappropriate.
Right.
How do you think this is going to affect you and the people around you?
Right.
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
How do you think this is going to affect your career in the future?
Right.
Because she wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
She wants to be a positive role model.
Where did you get that from? That's weird.
So I say to her, you know, if that is the position you want to be in your life, and you want others to look up to you and to learn from your mistakes and to learn from you in general because of what you've gone through, I said, do you think that this is going to benefit them? Is it going to benefit you? I never thought about it that way. It's the very same second. So it's not like I've threatened her, I'm going to cancel your Facebook. Can you imagine how your actions are affecting me?
Right.
What's that going to do to her? That's just going to make her be more reserved and go, you know what? Blink, blink, you mama.
Yeah.
It's not about you. Because that's the first thing teenagers say. It's not about you. It's my life.
Yeah.
So I've turned around. It is your life.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's your life. It's not my life.
Yeah.
So you've claimed that this is what you want. Do you think this is helping you, or is it taking away from where you want to go in your future? It's taking you, you know. So right away, it's been quite effective.
Yeah. How much time would you say you invest in the clarity aspect of knowing what they want and really understanding what their life purpose, obviously it changes over the years, so their life purpose and stuff. Do you spend a lot of time, I don't know, like detecting that, like, or communicating with that, or do they come to you now with that? How does that work?
You know, it's different when you deal with, and this is I'm sure it's a common known fact out there, boys are different than girls.
Really?
I mean, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So my daughter is a lot more open with coming to me about whatever her challenges are and whatever her triumphs are. I mean, I hear about everything, and I celebrate everything with her.
Right.
You know, good or bad, small or big, it doesn't matter. The fact that she communicates these things with me. So, you know, having a teen daughter and having a teen son, I've noticed, you know, that she will come to me with just about everything and allows me the privilege, and I see it as a privilege at this age, to be able to communicate with her and give her my knowledge. You know, it doesn't matter how I grew up, what my parents did, it doesn't matter what I think, but I will still tell her, you know, this is how I perceive this. What are your thoughts? I always put it back on her, because I don't want to be the one to make up her mind in her, you know, decision making. I want the decisions to be made by her, so that she's accountable.
So you ask the right questions.
Yeah, I think I do. You know, I mean, right or wrong, and I always tell her, I don't want you to learn from my mistakes. What kind of life are you going to live going for? Because what she's going through right now is she's building substance in her character. You know, she makes mistakes, she learns from them, she'll come to me, I give her my perspective, she'll make up her own mind at the end of it all. So she's building character. But for me to say, don't do that because when I did it, I was your age, and you know, times are different.
Is that hard for you to not offer the advice? Or do you find it like a natural thing that you do, like where you just kind of want to ask them questions? And
I find it easier now to ask questions and then let them open up, because I've noticed, and I've done this with my son, if I pry, he shuts down. It's live and learn. But you know, I don't know of too many 16-year-olds that will still walk into their mom's bedroom and, you know, come in, a boy, and hug me and, you know, good night, mom. You know, I don't know of too many boys at that age that still do that. So for that, I'm grateful. But you know, with my son, it's information he will bring up. I can't pry anything out of him, and I respect that. I respect that. I won't pry. I mean, he's 17 years old. He's becoming a man. By me crying, I'm just going to create a gap and a distance, and I don't want that. I want him to still feel like he can come to me, and when the time is right, he will. But for the most part, and I pay attention to their body language. You know, if he's very quiet and if he's very subdued, you know, when I come home, if he doesn't come upstairs to greet his mom, I know that something's up. So I'll go down and, is everything okay, honey? Yeah, okay. You know, I'm here for you if you need to. Okay. And then you know, something happened at school today. Do you want to talk about it? No. Okay. You know.
Well, maybe a little.
But you know what? I need to leave. If I was to pry, he'll shut down. And I mean, it's just the way it is. And I'm not in denial of it. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, "Oh no," you know. It's just the way it is. And I respect that because I understand this is what he needs to go through. You know, and he knows I'm there. I've made that very clear. And if it was anything on a larger scale, I'm sure you would talk to me about it. But you know, at the end of the day, oh no, I really truly believe that they need to learn from their own mistakes. And a lot of us as parents try to shove our experiences down their throat. When I was your age, today's day and age, the society that we live in is not the society that I lived in 40-something years ago. You know, times have changed, right?